Whew, okay. Hello. We are just getting ready and chilling here for the next 6 minutes or so before the stream. Let me know if you guys can hear me well. I think I have everything still set up from last time and should be all good. I just want to make sure everything's running fine. Super excited to get started with all the Patreon requests tonight. Whoops, dropped my keys. Okay. I'm just gonna sort of bounce around here. Awesome. Audio is working. Thank you, Avery. Got lots of fun and interesting requests to do this time, so I'm excited. Awesome. You know, I'm gonna have to rethink my streaming setup sometime soon. If simply because I have to move my keyboard every single time. Oh, hey Corey Volp. Nice to see you here. But anywho, yeah, I need to rethink my streaming setup sometime because I have to move my keyboard in order to have my screen close enough for me to draw, because it's a Cintiq, so I'm drawing straight on the screen. But that also means I need to move my keyboard to the side. So it'd be, yeah. Need to figure that out eventually. Only got about 3 more minutes here till we're officially gonna start. So I'm all set. I've got my energy drink. I should be pretty. Oh, I think I forgot to get food, but don't worry. If I start flagging, I've got easily accessible snacks that I can run and grab on like a little 5-minute break or something. So, should be good. Should be good to run. How's everybody's week's been? Doing well? Snacks. Yes, snacks. My own week's been a touch crazy, just a little busy. Like, I've been working on commissions all during my last weekend and work week. And I'm getting close to having all of them mostly complete. I've got like one that I haven't started at all yet. Then 2 that are in the sketch stage, and I need to do, and one I just need to ink, and the other one needs to go and get inked and colored and shaded. And then I've got 2 that are mostly done, well, one that's completely done, one that's mostly done, except that we're working out some, like, adding some text to the adding some text to the image, and the commissioner is taking their time to think over some of what they want people to say. But otherwise, completely done. And I'm pretty excited for that one. I like how it came out. You just got off a vacation. I feel that the first day back to work always sucks. Always sucks so much. Oh, and we're almost there. 1 more minute till we officially start. Let's make sure I can pop my stream out here somewhere so I can keep an eye on it, because I'm pretty bad about keeping an eye on it if it's not, like, right there in my peripheral vision. Yeah, I can see you. I can see you. Alright. And we're ready to roll. Let me go ahead and we can transition over to my setup over here. And I did not figure out how to pop out the chat. Give me just 1 more second to see if I can figure that out. Got collapse. Where's the little... Nope, back. Ah! I've lost my chat. Go back to chat. Chat setting. Okay, well, we'll just have to deal with things as they come. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on picking our first request. So we had a ton of requests this time. I mean, 18? Wow. That's a lot of requests, folks. And we got tons of awesome options. So, got our random number picker, and we're gonna go ahead and spin it. Got one more than I actually have right now, but you know, I'll have to keep reloading the request stream if people decide to join early. And it went right to the end of the requests. Let's see who put theirs in last. If it hits 19, I'll skip it. Hey Hanamaki, nice to see you here. All right, who put in response number 18? And it looks like my friend Radian, who specifically messaged me on Discord earlier, was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be a little late. You know, if I'm picked early, just let me know." So, looks like we got picked early. Got picked the first thing. It's. I think the universe decided to curse him a bit, but yeah, just they spoke it into existence. So, Rad wants to be turned into a big squeaky girl. Something like one of these, big, soft, cuddly, and bappy. Maybe getting gooped up like something like those orbs from The Incredibles. Okay, because Rad does have a fondness for like all sorts of squeaky stuff like pool toys, etc., etc. Let's take a look at some of the images provided. Okay, so sort of a Rogue the Bat situation. So in this case, we're not getting particularly a exact image reference. We're getting a vibe. And my computer's being slow as heck today. don't know why. Okay. Squeaky. Okay, so more of similar stuff. They had a lot of images. That is not what I meant to open. Control C and Control V. That is Control B. Why did brain? Okay. So lots of images for a vibe check. Hey, we're animal. I do know that I am streaming my browser. I'm specifically showing it so that people can see what the vibe is. And hello everybody who's joined. Hey Zelo. Hey Corey Volp. I know you came in earlier, but I'm glad to, since it's one of your first times on the stream. Good to see you. Okay. But yeah, lots of. The vibe is squeaky. So, let's go ahead and. I already generally know what Radiant's character model looks like because again, this is somebody who's a personal friend of mine, and I'm just gonna give him a quick poke to say, "Lol, you got pulled first. You got pulled first in the thing. You got." As I understand. So I'm sending them a quick message. So maybe they'll join us here in a second. If they're able to. But let's get started. Specifically, so let's get to work. Now, just to look over the writing. He turned into a big squeaky girl, which specifically, I don't think that they have anything in mind aside from squeakiness. But let's start with a pose. Let's see where things get us. I am not liking the size of my brush. There we go. Whoops, and that's why you want to go ahead and not draw on your background layer, because when you erase straight down to the transparency. There we go. Let's try that again, shall we? Now, what sort of squeakiness do we want? Red was also open to some gooiness, so let's maybe do something fun with that with their hands. Like maybe they were playing with one of those fun little slime toy things, but some magic slime got mixed into the bunch, and now they're having a hard time pulling that stuff apart, and it's coating the rest of them, and just getting in some sort of trouble. At least that's what I think would be fun. Getting just some general skeleton. A skeleton pose in there. This is a variation on the, character who's TFing is looking at their hands type of thing. So, oh yeah, situation spiraling is always a good TF thing. Yeah, like the, what are they called? You know, there's like those like thinking slime things that you can get. They're thinking putty. Thinking putty. That's the name. I need to make this bigger so I can see. There we go. Nice and big. Oh, fun. I think original Thinking Putty came in those like egg-shaped tins, but the brand that I was exposed to a lot more was like Aaron's Crazy Thinking Putty or something like that, and it always came in like these little Altoid looking tins. Which, you know, not bad, just different. And let's put an arm. Hello, Azure Bunny. Oh, weird. I guess it was marketed different ways in different areas. Because, yeah, it was always thinking putty here. And let's get putting a hand right about here-ish. It's not as good of posing as, like, say, having it pulled all the way, but the other arm was too long. Too long. Doop, doop. And I don't know why I'm doing a little cartoon character moment. But, you know, with the three fingers and all. But let's clean up some of the body so that I can, okay, that's gonna keep bugging me because I accidentally drew on the bottom. Here we go. Whoop. And then go back to the right layer. Yep. And get some more underlying structure done with the legs. You can tell I've been working on my iPad too much because I just went to go like expand the screen and I tried to use my fingers to do that until I realized, oh wait, it doesn't work like that here. Okay, and so we got a nice little basic pose going on. And we want this arm to be in the middle of getting bigger and squishier and rubberier and gooier, because that's what Radian wants. Definitely get some big bappers in there. That's not what I needed. And let's get some good drips going. Get a nice like arc between the fingers of where it's trying to sort of envelop her, I guess. Like she's trying to do one of those fun little pull apart movements. And then it's just started like going out of hand. And begin this big old TF. Into what? I don't know exactly yet, but I think we're going early stages. But I definitely know it's going to be something with big old bappers. Because that was requested. Want to get my eraser out and erase just a little bit here so that the bappers have a more 3D feel. Because you gotta do stuff like that to make sure that you get the illusion of 3 dimensions. I probably should readjust the shape on these bapper beans as well. Because from the angle that we're viewing it, you'd have one side that's a little flatter and one side that's a bit more, 3D because they're bopping out. Maybe get some good shine on it. Yeah, that works. That works, shine-wise. And erase a little bit so that we can get that good goo strand in there. I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out so far. What do you guys think? This looking fairly good at the moment. Then let's have some of this goo be starting to affect the feet as well. Like it dropped off. And is now attempting to overtake from down here. Yep. A little bit here on the Let's actually put some right now this is a nice base, but let's put some clothes on Rad. I'm sure they'd appreciate that. Gosh darn it, I did it again. I tried to zoom by using my fingers. I feel so dumb every time I do it. Similar to like when you go to adjust your glasses and you don't have them on. It's just the embarrassment. I like to rotate things so I can make nicer curves. Now, I know Rad's definitely generally for a more happy vibe, but we can be a little shocked. Maybe just a little bit as a treat. Not an unhappy shock, just a surprised. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's put their signature hoodie on. Whenever I'm doing hoodies, I usually start with like the crinkle over the neck because it feels easier. Don't know why, it just does. And then get some dimension going on here with some wrinkles. And then this isn't a super great pose for showing off a hoodie, to be honest, because like, you know, most of it's being hidden over here by the goo, but I can still imply it better. I can make sure you got that like little ribbing pattern down here and some cuffs. Yeah, that's better. And a couple little drawstrings. And we're gonna have the goo working their way up the arm. Like, this thing is taken over. Okay, Lil, so I said, oh yeah, I can totally draw Radiant. I can totally remember their character design off the top of my head. I've drawn them a ton of times. And now I am eating my words because I am spacing on what their character's hair looks like. That's why I'm working on clothes for the moment, because I can, you know, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I might have to go do some research through my own art, but I think I'm gonna play around some more with the goop. Get some good goop going, some shinies, some slime on the goop to accentuate it. And then I'm gonna, in my on my other screen, that is not my other screen, gosh darn it, I'm gonna pull up the art from last patron stream so I can remember how Rad's hair goes. Do 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 do. That's not that. Oh, and of course everything pops up on here. But, yeah, okay. So, as we can remember, if you were here last time, we had some awesome requests, and in particular, Radiant up here. That is what their hair looks like. So I'm not going crazy. I know it sounds kind of dumb of me, but I always need a reference, just because the noggin does not contain a whole lot of information at the same time, you know? I've got only so much RAM in my head. And a lot of it gets used up for daily use stuff, which is frustrating. I think after a certain, I don't know if it's like an age thing, because I'm not that old. I'm not. But I am, I just turned 30, so it's not like I am not a spring chicken either. So yeah, sometimes it just feels like the brain does not hold as much information as it did. Probably just because it's getting overstimulated by all the other, life stuff, have to think about bills and about the job stuff and all that sort of stuff. Speaking of job stuff, my work has been crazy lately. A lot of dumb, not politics per se, but high school drama stuff being enacted by these ladies who are 50 to 60 years old. And it's so infuriating. Luckily, I'm on night shift, so almost none of that drama applies to me because I'm on night shift. I don't care. I don't have to see them a whole lot. But anywho, let's see where I'm at. Okay, let's get some proper footwear, aka the vaguest. That's sort of a shoe. It works. This is the sketch phase anyway, so it'll get there. All right. Now, this is probably definitely a little bit earlier on in the transmission why did I say transmission? In the transformation than I usually go for Radiant, but you gotta vary it up sometimes. And in this, I like that nice little initial discovery moment. And who knows? We'll have to see it. We'll have to see if Radiant likes it or not, because like I said, they specifically said, hey, I'm gonna be a little late, but it is what it is, so. Let me just put a name. Nope, I'm still working on the same pencil size, just being weird. And let's go ahead and pick another. Where is it? There's my request stream. Let's go ahead and pick another number. Get rid of all this extra so we have actually some more space. Not 5,000 5,000 tabs open like usual. Hi, Mr. Spiffy. Nice to see you here. People are rarely looking at pictures with the feet in the eye line. Oh, yeah. I suppose not. So, let's go ahead and give it a good spin to see who we get next. Okay. Ooh, it was right on the line there. Request number 4. Who is request number 4? Rio. Huzzah! Looks like you were able to snag spot number 4. And you are looking for Mysona mid-TF into a feral Zorua. Looking concerned. Ooh, fun! Zoruas are always super cute. And absolutely love those little guys. Now, I should probably ask, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Are we talking Hisuian Zorua, or are we talking just regular Unobin Zorua? Although, I will admit, it'll be a touch tricky to go from Anthrofox to non-Anthrofox, but I think we can do it. There's a little bit of, not a whole lot of distinction there, I guess. Sorry, not to be rude, but yeah, let's take a look. Rio, are you in chat? Let's take a look, see who's here. That's not what I need. Looking in the Discord, they said they'd tune in once I get home from work. What is it with this wheel and wanting to pull people who aren't here yet or are running late? Huh. What do you think, Tugger? You think it's funky? Sorry, my cat came to visit. He's not doing too good today. We're gonna be getting him into the vet on Saturday because he's got some leg stuff going on where he's not wanting to put weight on it. Okay, I'm still gonna go ahead and get this one done. So it should be pretty. I should be able to get it done pretty quick. So let's take a look. All right, into a feral Zorua. I think I'm gonna shelve it until they get back. I just don't want to. I'm a little bit worried that if I shelve it, there'll be too many things that are building up, but I think I will shelve it for now, and I need you guys to let me know if they show up in chat, okay? I'm not super great at always keeping an eye on the chat, but if they show up, please let me know, and then whatever I'm working on, I'll probably just go and do theirs after whatever's going on. So in that case, let's go back to the number picking wheel and spin again. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear him. Hear my cat. He likes to talk. He's very chatty, but he might be too quiet for the thing to hear. All right, number 9. Number 9. Who is number 9? Looks like it is Kane. Okay. Mid-goo TF of my human character into my Vulpix character. The goo would be covering most of their head, chest, and arms, already having turned them into paws. Then there would be a bit touching his right leg, and everything that it touches would be turning into the Vulpix. Okay, okay. My cat lives. Aw. Very cute. Very cute. I'm reading Mr. Spiffy's thing. Is Kane here in chat? I have a hard time relating like Twitch chat names to the like patron names, so please speak up if you are Kane. I'm gonna pull this over here and take a look at their reference images while we're doing that. Okay. Sounds pretty fun. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and, even though I like pause Rio's, I know that Rio will be here. I don't know if Kane will end up showing up here. So I'm just gonna get this one done, and then we can go forward with it. But yeah, so here's our references. We got a cute little, very purple Vulpix, and a very fun, laid-back kind of guy. So let's go ahead and they were asking, could be covering most of their head, chest, and arms, already having turned them into paws. So head, chest, and arms. You know, I think let's almost do this as like a companion piece to Rad's. Maybe that Goo is just having a time in this chat today. I'm gonna have it so that this character's kind of, I think I'm gonna make a new layer just in case I need to delete or make, in case I need to do some more structural work before going in to do a more clean sketch. In this case, I think we got our character sort of hunched over, like a little bit more of an extreme angle, yeah. Like the goo has poured down on top of their head, I think. Like this poor guy got the Nickelodeon slime treatment, I guess. With TF goo. Alright. Where did I put that page? Yep, there we are. Putting you over in the other window. So I have reference. Reference is what keeps the artist thriving. Let's get a basic body. Basic body in here. One leg. And then One other leg. And this leg is going to be mid TF because of the goo. Yep, congrats on winning the Kids' Choice Award. Then we got one arm unaffected. Or mostly unaffected. Like, I can see it in the middle of becoming a palb. And then let's get a Vulpix head in here. I'm gonna put ears back just a little bit because, you know, surprise is the main element of TF in this picture. Again, I like a good what the heck's going on moment. Now, there's a decent amount of like fox Pokemon and like evolutions that have anime girl face. Like, rather than an actual muzzle per se, they have sort of just an anime girl face when you shoved a little muzzle onto, which, don't get me wrong, is a good way to do it. I just have to keep remembering it whenever I want to make them like more, whenever I try to go more foxy, it always reads a little weird. But I think this is turning out good so far. Yeah, let's do a little bit of an open mouth. Like, emphasize the new teefies and the new little muzzle, but not that much because that makes it look like they're smiling rather than going ah. Hair. I got a little fringe, little swoopy bit from what I can see in the picture. That goes, oh, nope, goes down, not up. It's maybe a bit too large of a line, but I'm not sure I'm liking that expression quite yet. No, I want a brush. Give me my brush back. Thank you. Let's get some good fluffiness in there. And then make sure we get the goopiness, because we want to really emphasize that the goop is what's causing the TF. Goop is hard. Goop can be hard, especially because it's, you know, sure, it can be fun and sort of free-flowing, but it also has its own, like, weight and viscosity that you kind of got to think of. It can be tricky to figure out. There's people who do goop real good. Yeah, they are making the surprise Pikachu face. But that only makes sense in the context of TF. It does need mass and volume to read as goop. Let me zoom out a bit so I can see what I'm doing. That's the wrong way. Gosh darn it. And got these clothes sort of in there. Let's put this. Put a Vulpix paw, because they're kind of also rapidly changing size as the goop is gooping them. Engoopment. Get the rest of the clothes going. And get some goop on this leg so we can understand that that's what causing the change. Get some motion lines for these pants. Doop a doop a doop a doop. Okay. I'm getting pretty happy with that. Most of the way through a goop TF. Let me go check the details. Need another eye, of course. But we'll get there. Unless I don't want to get there. I could be lazy and have the goop covering it. But I don't want to be lazy. Gotta be a little bit less lazy. Like, sure, most of the time, take the stuff, the shortcuts you need in art, because it's gonna be. Art is a lot of work. A lot of the time. But don't take it too much so that it doesn't, so that you're not left with so that you're left with a, unquality product, I guess. Okay. I think that's not too bad. There's not a lot more detail to be done aside from making sure they got some shoes. Oh wait, no. My bad. I completely misremembered this pant situation. It's supposed to be like full-on sweats. I will go ahead and change that up. Get some good sweats in. And then have some fun with that and show that they're TFing. Have the pants be up a little bit higher on this leg. There we go. So far we've had a very goopy start to the stream. Okay. And there we go. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Pretty happy with that. Oh well. Shoe. That'll get cleaned up in post. All right. So, let's move Rio out of the way so that I can title this one effectively. Where's my move tool? Move tool. There we go. Rio gets put over here. Select, deselect. And this one was for Kane, so let's put that right there. Kane. Wait. 1 second. Sorry, I had somebody. No worries. Give me just one moment. I need to check on something. I'll be right back.
Nothing in a rush. I was just wondering if I have a
Okie dokie. Sorry about that. I'm back. I probably need to make some sort of sign for my door that tells people when I'm streaming or not. I mean, I only do it once a month, but would be a good idea. Just a general do not disturb sign. Alright. Let's pull stuff over here and go ahead and pick another number. Yeah, a red light that goes on when recording? Maybe. So let's get that spin in. Who are we doing now? Can't do Rad again. Sorry, wheel. Don't know what your fixation on the number 18. 11. Who is number 11? Well, oh, we have 19 responses now. I probably should update. Well, no, still got enough in there. All right. Wearanimal. That's fun. Looks like we got have you here. Says my human transforming into a fuzzy werebore. Ooh, fun. Wearanie. Yep. Let's take a look at your reference. Awesome. You can definitely have some fun with that. I thought I saw you earlier, Wearanimal. So we said werebore. What are we thinking? Like, going for like more sort of the classic werewolf, tearing out of your clothes type of deal. Let's also let's look at some reference for boars in general, because I am familiar with them, but not intimately. I know they are scary sons of guns, because they will just not stop charging at things. And they will gore you to death. Pop things over here into the other side so I have it on hand. But I'll be honest with you, I am only vaguely aware of Minecraft YouTubers. Like, I know the name Technoblade, and I know the general idea of, like, apparently there's some sort of part of a large Minecraft YouTuber group, but I could not for the life of me tell you what the like roleplay storyline was for that. I do know he died, but other than that, I don't know much about that whole group in general. I keep running into the fan art for them though, because there's people have fun with their AUs specifically for that fandom. And so I'll be looking at something like, oh, hey, I want to look up some giant tiny art on Tumblr. And they'll have an AU of that. Or, hey, I want to look up some stuff with, winged humanoids and lots of fun. I want to see everybody's, fun takes on different bird people. They'll be there, too. They're following me around, I say. In all seriousness, though, I hope it's a fandom that looks pretty fun from the outside, but I just haven't joined in. Anywho, on to the actual subject at hand. Wrong way. Let's get some... I swear, are you in here, Weiranimal? I was pretty sure they were in here earlier. Yeah, I see him earlier, but did I have to leave or something? Oh nope, they're there. Maybe just distracted. So we'll get going. I kind of want to go big and scary with this. Again, unless Weiranimal pops up here and says no, I'm going to go big and scary. Very classic werewolfism. Oh, hello! Hello, Weiranimal. You got picked! And we're doing your fun werebore stuff. I was thinking going very, very classic werewolf almost. But now that you're here, obviously I want to get your input. I was thinking, sort of the stereotypical, oh gosh, I'm bursting out of my clothes and the moon's powers is transforming me. That sort of fun, dramatic. Oh, big, scary, always good? Heck yeah. Don't do this to me. I always have to fight with my medium. Heck yeah, we're getting some muscles in here. And a bit of a big gut because, again, boars are very much they're very much like strongmen, honestly. If you look at like actual strongman competitions instead of like bodybuilder competitions, if you want real big strength, you also need to have good padding with that strength. Yeah, muscle gut. Because it's just not as effective to not have muscle gut. Yeah. Let's look again at some of the boar reference images. What do their hooves look like? That's an annoying AI image. Or maybe not AI, maybe paleo art, but not. But let's look at hooves. How do their hooves? How do their hooves look? Okay. So they got very fun, like, almost like a 4-toe thing going on, but it's 2 big clompers and then 2 in the back that are like large dew claws, so. Get some good strong thighs. Get a bit grizzly in there. And then yeah. I remember reading about some paleo stuff once, and apparently there used to be these things called hell pigs that were, back when everything was ginormous. These were like pigs that were about the size of a truck and could run up to like 60 miles per hour. So, yeah, boars can be scary sons of guns. You get a curly tail, though, because, yes, fun, silly little thingy. Yes, aptly named hell pigs. Hello again, Avery. Then back to this. Need some good face references because they got, whoops, maybe not that much. They got some funky faces. Some funky faces. And then get some good muscly arms in there. We want them looking a little crazed. They feel the call of the moon and are going to, they're going to go find truffles all night unless somebody disturbs them, in which case they're going to absolutely wreck their shit. Because, like, I think were-boars would be, they'd be pretty chill unless disturbed. Like, don't get near them and just let them do their thing, but otherwise, they're gonna be an okay were critter to hang out around. Let's figure out this whole snout situation. I'm doing the grumble of things are not looking how I want them to quite yet. I hate that a lot of the images you find in Google search now are AI, you know? It's frustrating. Nom nom truffle time, yep. Let's see. Let's zoom the heck in because we're gonna need to zoom the heck in. Got a real nice long snout. Ah, true. I could do that. I need to get some underdrawing in here. So pigs have got this like funky situation going on. Like that's their nose. And I should probably bring this drawing up another layer so that I can actually see what I'm doing. Doop-a-doop. Sometimes it's nice to have like an under sketch done, and then like to make it smaller. But in this case, I'm working too much on the under sketch to keep it as, you know, to keep it as rough as it was. Look at this piggy mouth. Okay. Look at sort of a larger flap. And that nose covers the entire end of the face. Entire end of the face. Let's get some good tusks in there, because I mean, they are one of those the trickier mammals. One of the trickier mammals to go for. But I think if done right, they could be very rewarding. So let's go ahead and we're gonna give it a shot. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it So, you know, gotta give it a go. Always gotta give it a go, because otherwise you're not improving. That's part of the fun of these streams is to get me out of my drawing ruts and have me draw on things I wouldn't normally. Get some fun. These tusks I'll probably stylize because, again, we're were critters. We want to be very intimidating. And then get some fun eyes in there. Sort of maybe a little bit possessed, just a little bit by the moon. You can get a little human here up in the face because, again, this is a were-boar, not just a regular boar. We want to. That's the fun of were critters. You gotta integrate a little bit of the man with the critter. Then let's fluffify this guy. Boar is a critter. Is a critter. And this kit. Get some ears going. Got sort of a funky ear shape too. And bristle that guy up. All the bristles. So we know he's a... You know, boar bristle hairbrushes are actually some real nice fancy ones. That's what they used before they had like synthetic brush. It was boar bristle because it has it's rough, but and that makes it good for separating the hair, but not like destroying it, because it's also it's rough but soft. And this tusk is maybe a little big compared to the other. Just a little bit, a hint of that other tusk. Why is my pencil not penciling? Okay, now it's penciling. Good. I was just drawing stupid tiny. Get him snarling a bit. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that face. Now let's zoom out and see if the rest of the drawing I'm still happy with. Okay, not as bad as some other like detail induced I wouldn't say fugues, but like you focus in on, sometimes you focus in on something in a drawing and then you go back and realize, oh wait, that bit now totally doesn't fit the rest of the drawing. I'm liking that. Got a good base structure. I've kind of almost completely neglected the human bits of it, but let's get some good ripped clothing in there. Some remnants of a hoodie. 'Cause like think the areas that would have grown the least when going through a wear transformation would probably be these arms here. Like, the hands are, it's a little stretched, but like the hands would probably still be sorta close-ish enough. Then I would love to have some good ribbage right here, because that feels nice, you know? Like, maybe it's not the most logistically correct, but it feels nice. Get some good hangy bits. And have some fur poking out of these tufts. Okay. Maybe one like super stretched across the stomach and all that. Some muscle definition sort of in here with fur. I'm pretty happy. I mean, let's get that other hoof hand in here. Do we want to actually think about the logistics of hoof hand? No, we don't. But I can make it believable at least. It functions-ish. It is good for digging up truffles. Alrighty. I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. What do you think, Wernimal? Did we do your wearboard justice? Awesome. I'm glad you're happy with it. Schnoot. Indeed, schnoot. Very schnoot. Boar is a very schnoot animal. So, alright. What the heck? Remind me later. Stupid thing. Popping up at the wrong time. Okay. So, I'm going to do a quick refresh of this to make sure there hasn't been had any more requests come in. I do have this thing open all throughout stream, so in case new people join, they can add stuff to this. Let's go ahead and spin again. Ooh, right on the edge, 16. Okay, who is our lucky number 16? Radian. Let's see if they're here in chat yet, or if they're still late. 'Cause I might I do want to make sure to prioritize people who are here. So, and we already did Radian once. Let's... Sorry, haven't been keeping track of my Discord. They said they'd be home in like 20 minutes at 5:57. So they're probably just about jumping up. They do say if I manage to come up a second time somehow, you can let someone else go before me. Okay, so yeah, let's let somebody else go before Radian, because again they already got a request in here, and so we want to make sure we have some variety. Okay, number 14. Wop. Frosted! Awesome. Looks like we have a quest for a guy partially transformed into a dolphin-tailed mermaid. 2 options here, I think. First, that he's lounging on the beach, mostly transformed by a female dolphin-tailed mermaid who's giving him a nice transformative tail massage. Other option would be it happening suddenly while he's swimming. Maybe the dolphin tail is formed from the base of his spine and his legs are getting turned into little side fins. Okay. Let's go ahead, and I like the it's happening while he's swimming type of deal, because that way we get to play with some fun flowiness. Let's pull up some reference for dolphins. Not the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins mammals. Swimsuits? Heck yeah, swimsuits. Dolphins are they're very fun form factor wise. Like, there is something nice about how elegant their aerodynamicness is. That said, their faces have always been a little sketchy. Just a little sketchy. Okay. Let's get some more space. Go down a bit. And work on some dolphin maids. Yeah, eyes at jaws are hard to make work. True. Okay. I want a nice, fun, floaty pose. Like, this poor dude was just trying to enjoy his vacation, and then this stuff happens. Because, why not? Why is my eraser not erasing all the way? What the heck? I'm going to swap out pens, because I think this one I might have rubbed the nib down a bit too much by pressing hard. Yeah, there we go. It wasn't picking up the pressure as well as it should. Which is why you have to keep replacing the tips on your Wacom pens. If anybody else has Wacoms here and has their one dumb little tip... Oh, hi Radian! I should probably show you yours, because we got yours first thing, and it's not exactly, like, so we went for it anyway, just to sort of start off the stream. As you can see, it's a little bit early TF, but I thought you'd enjoy the fun gooiness of it. Let me just... Yep, for whatever reason, the stream liked to pick people who weren't here early on. So we ended up with a bunch of folks that I don't know why, but the wheel favored the people who weren't here all the time. Weren't here. As for how often I have to replace it, not a whole lot. But the nice thing about if you get a Wacom tablet, usually they have that fun little pen stand. If you take off the bottom of the pen stand, they've got a bunch of hidden pen nibs in there. So, tip for anybody. Yep, it pick the Big Bappy friend. So this is the beginning of Big Bappiness. Okay, anywho. Back to what we're currently working on, which is a guy turning into a dolphin mermaid. We're gonna work with some floatiness here, like I'd imagine this poor fellow was out on vacation, stumbled across some sort of weird magic stuff, and then life is not going great after that. Let's get some fun tail action in here. Sort of a floaty pose. Like, they're underwater, but they're like treading. You know, they're doing that thing where you move your arms to stay in place. Yep. And this is, you know, a TFTG. I just have to figure out how to do that without figure out the swimsuit scenario for that. So let's get some base in there. Let's work on that first. Now, yeah. So if we're gonna do a swimsuit, maybe t-shirt, maybe that, or one of those like sorta not like a wetsuit, but a mini wetsuit. The full coverage. The full coverage swimsuits that they use when snorkeling. Okay, I should probably put this down on a layer where it's... I've got my gesture sketch in here. Let's pull it to a different layer so that it's less bright and I can focus on stuff on top of it, you know? There we go. It would definitely be a guy thing to be in swim trunks and shorts, but again, keeping things PG-13 here. Or, well, swim trunks and a t-shirt, maybe, yeah. Like board short type of deal. Whoops. I need to do structure before I do fun things. Structure first. It's important. Let's go ahead and get a arm in here. you don't do the underlying structure, you can't do the fun bits like floaty clothes and hair. Because then they don't turn out good because you haven't been thinking about the rest of it. Let's go ahead and make sure that they're looking down, because like if something this weird and big is happening to you, you're definitely watching. Like, what the, what the heck type of moment. So, get some tail shape in here. Very nice and sleek. And then dolphin tails. Okay. Sort of disappear and swoosh into the body of the tail. A little bit rounded. And I think we get one sort of like thigh piece bit happening here. In some foreshortening. We get that like going into a foot that's becoming a flipper. Would you say it was a fluke? Yeah. Sort of, speaking of fluke, let's get that going back here. And this, I think I'm gonna have these board short type dealios sort of like right in here and ripping. Got a weird, and we get a weird leg nub over here as it's becoming the sorry, I was thinking too hard and my brain shut off. But here we go. What I was trying to say was got it here sort of in between, covering the dignity but also in the middle of ripping, so it's like falling apart. And let's follow the line of like that, like I said, like you were thinking a t-shirt that they're swimming in, and have that fluke passing by, as well as some small
some small amount of boobage beginning. True, true, true. Let's get this other arm in here. And some floaty sleeves. Now some good freak out hands. Hello, hello, welcome. Glad you like the art. Okay, that's a bit too wide, I think. Yeah, definitely a bit too wide, but we're working on it. Okay, and other hand in freak out mode. As well. Foreshortened freak out mode. Let's get. Things are getting a bit spaghetti here at the moment, which is not great, but that's just how it works sometimes. Good news is that eventually you can unspaghetti it. Okay, okay. That's looking all right. Not horrible. Not. Okay, but you know, as always, it's always a sketch, just a sketch. Let's take a look big picture so that I can check my anatomy or faux anatomy. Head's kind of small. Why did I make the head so small? That needs to be a bit more in proportion. I think that looks good. There we are. Where's that layer? That's the wrong layer. Yeah, there we go. Now I can see things a bit cleaner. And put some final detailing in here. Like, you know, all the face stuff. That hand is too big. Deselect. Okay, nope. I'm not liking that hand at all. That hand needs to go. Yeah, it does make a sort of sense for things to blah blah blah, for mermaid tails to go spine-wise rather than merging, but you know, everybody has their own preferences, so yeah, got these freak out hands going away from us. There we go. That feels better. We've got one set of freak out hands coming towards us, one set of freak out hands going away. And now for facial features, because... Or wait, nope. Let me just rejigger this until I am happy. Free transform, thank you. Maybe a bit of warp. Help this look in proportion to me. Nope, that's just making it worse. What is wrong? What is wrong? It's the overlap that's wrong. The overlap is what's wrong. Somehow. I still like the hand, so I'm going to keep the hand. And then sometimes you gotta tilt the image just to figure out what the heck to do with it. Okay, so that connects into a shoulder. And then I think the hand needs to go further out. Select, deselect. Maybe something a bit more like that. Yeah, that looks better. That looks much better. I love the debate in chat that's going on here about mermaids. I'm sorry I haven't focused on it super much, just because trying to figure out the perspective in all this. To give him a little bit more of a manly jaw, just so you know we can see where he's coming from. Maybe a little bit of mermaid hair, or soon-to-be mermaid hair, coming down into his eye, because I don't feel like drawing the other one right now. Sometimes you get to be a little bit lazy. Get some fun curls in there, like some fun beachy waves. Get to do anime sort of duck butt hair. Whee! Okay. Let's get a little bit fantasy with the ears because we can. Getting a little bit of webbing. And fun fantasy ears are part of the enjoyment of life. Let's get some. There we go. Huzzah! What do you think? What do you think, Frost? I'm pretty happy with it. Maybe put him in a little bit of a different pose, like shifted just a bit. I almost want to like rotate the tail just a touch. Sorry, I'm rotate 180. Whoops, not like that. Not like that. Whoopsie-doos. I like it to be curving up into the body. So let's Control Z. Rotate. Rotate. Put you back where you were supposed to be. Ah! No. Okay. Let's try a different go round this time. Let's just get the bottom bit, because I liked where the tail placement was before. And now rotate vertical. And just line it up. I am so smart. So smart. Maybe just shorten it a little bit. It's still growing and it's got time. Yeah! It works better. Huzzah! All right. Maybe a couple bubbles. And I think we're good. All right, Frost. One Murdolphin complete. Okay. Do a quick stretch before we head into our next victim. Okay, looks like we have 20 responses now. So let me just update our wheel and give it 20 options. And go ahead and spin. Yeah, everybody stretch. Get that stretch going while while the wheel's rolling. And option 10. Let's see who option 10 is. Avery. Okay. Got Faye Avery indoctrinating a new soul who foolishly gave them their true name. Okay. And then I still do have your old drawings and reference sheets, so we can definitely go for that. So when you say indoctrinating blah 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 words. So when you say indoctrinating a new soul, like, are we having them also become a Are we having them also become a servitor like before? Or is it something completely new? Like, I kind of think like a cute little satyr transformation for them would be fun. Just because I like the dynamic of like centaurs and satyrs as like BFFs almost, or just thematically they're very nice together. So what's the thoughts? While you're thinking that over, I'm gonna get some pose stuff going on so that I can. Yep, fun sounds like fun. I'm tempted to say centipede's a scorpion tar, but if that's too complex, it might be pushing it a little on the complexity scale. But I can definitely do something bug inspired. So let's get some planning going. I think I'm gonna go here into the corner. And I'm at least going to get our lovely servitor in progress while people are thinking. So I think I'm going to have one leg forward, one leg back. Then sort of a nice little pose. Let me check my 5 million OCs. I feel that. Do. I definitely know the pose that I want them to be in. Sort of using their height to the advantage. Swoopity whoopity whoopity. Yeah, because you want them intimidating. You want this poor soul to be like I kind of want them to be holding their chin as they're maybe a little hypnoed, just a little bit of vibes there of hypno. That's this is let's get some cleanup done with that body. There we go, that looks more like a side profile body. I can definitely... I think I'm not gonna pull all that in there, Tor. Not without Avery saying so. Just because, again, we want it. 2 characters already a little complex, but so we don't want to push the complex scale too much. let me... Yeah, we want to... Let's scooch everything up here just a bit. I could probably go for some centipedes. So, for any of you who are bug phobic, prepare to look away. They're cool, but definitely can hit somebody's ick factor. They are pretty fun to look. Pretty fun though. I like all the little segmented bits. I kind of want, like, what's the best way to go about this? I want, like, one human leg still around, but the rest are slowly becoming bug. But I'm not sure how to do that. So we can... Let's see. The other bit that's tricky with these guys is they're not like snakes. I like the sprouting a tail that's eating their legs idea. That seems like it would work. Let's go ahead and, like, have this person kneeling. Like, one... Yeah. One human leg. Got one bug leg popping out here. One human leg sort of merging in with these bug bits. And one human leg still sort of clinging on. I think this would work. Oof. And then it's working its way to become millipede-y or centipede-y. Unlike, what's it called? The tricky part with millipedes is that they are not snakes, and so you can apply some snake principles, but they're not round like snake. They are box. They are squares that have been, if squares that have been turned into tubes. This guy's got two funky little end bits. Funky little end bits. And way too many leggies to deal with. Way too many leggies. Official. Too many legs. I'm not unhappy with this. This is getting there. It's in the rough sketch phase, so let's bring it out of the rough sketch phase. And drinking the last of my Monster. Okay. Let's get everything nice and small. Rotate. Womp womp. We want a very caressing the face. This person is in awe. That's part of the scheme. Let's get the proper sized head in there. And a very pleased look on the face. After all, you know, doing what they're meant to do. I could probably try for some mandibles. Let me see if I still have your reference. Nope. Now I see the stuff you sent me. Miss Cooper, I can try for something like that. Maybe not exactly that person, but I can steal their hairstyle and mandibles. Sorry, sometimes I don't see DMs first thing just because I'm too focused on the art that I'm working on. Get those antlers in. Pretty happy with that antler. I'll just copy paste it. Yeah. Heck yeah. Whoop. Scooch it over here, do a little bit of a racy, merge it down. Perfect. Ha ha ha. Artist Pro Strat. And then we want the eyes to be very almost soft, but in a menacing way. Like, they are focused in. All right. Do-do-do-do. Cool, cool. Yeah, if you're a $5 I see your note there, Andrew. If you buy the $5 Patreon thing, you can go ahead and if you scroll a little bit further down in Patreon, you'll see the request form link, and that's where you can put in your request. I can probably adjust the face a little bit later, but let's move on to getting the rest of the deer done. Oh, whoops. This is supposed to go here. That's what I was thinking would go in front. I just forgot. Deers have kind of a square back compared to like horses, but there's a little bit softer than what I'm doing. So I should pay attention to that. If you can't, it should be there. It'll be there if you scroll back far enough. You should see the January commission January request form. Let's make sure the angles are right for the feet. Okay, yeah. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. This back leg is bugging me. It's meant to be in motion, that's why it's bugging me. There we go. That's a bit better. A little bit. Anatomy's not perfect, but it is okay enough for me to be happy with it. Looking up images. The front legs are very straight and very skinny. Back legs are annoying me very muchly, but I will figure it out eventually. Yeah, the front legs are doing all right. They're not perfect, but they're doing all right. So I'm happy with that at least. In this particular case, I think I'm going to hold off on giving them outfits until later if you're okay with that. Like, I can do outfits in the inking stage. Just because there's a lot of people to get through. A lot of body forms to figure out. Let's see. Okay, that's looking all right. Sort of indicate that this other arm is over here somewhere. I had to see your back. And I am being my worst critic tonight. Like, now this arm looks funky and I don't know why. That's a bit better. It was looking like just a bit small comparatively. And let's rotate just a bit so that I'm able to get the proper angle on this poor bloke. Sorry I had a hard time finding it. I try to make sure that it's nicely marked. But I have it. But I guess it can be a little bit tricky to dig through sometimes. Let's get a good slack jaw in there. Like, sort of wide-eyed and fixated. Let's get some fun hair floof and some fun mandible action. Little one growing by the chin, not quite done yet. A little bit of buggy, a little bit of antenna. Again, also still developing, so it's not quite where it should be yet. And rotate again back to our proper dimension. And I don't know if I heard, don't think I've heard back from you yet, Avery, if you're good with me. Just, I'll figure out clothes for them when I go ahead and do some more work on it, like when I ink everything, just because I do, this is a fun one, but I also want to make sure I have enough time to get everything else done. Sort of a tentative hand here. Am I getting the proportions wrong? Doodly 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 doo. Yes, I am. It's always the head. Always the head. And of course, the head's the most complex part. Bit better, yeah. Select, deselect. If I'm looking at it correctly, we got a 3-segment leg for our bugs. And it's a little bit amorphous right here, as their leg is being subsumed into the other legs. Let's get all these segments in. Let's legs. These also have sort of a 3-segment go at him. So, like, these back legs are splayed back a bit. Like, very, very funky looking. I like centipedes in a way because they're an interesting challenge, but they're also an interesting challenge, you know? Same with spiders, because spiders' legs don't look how you think they look. Like, they've got their own weird curvature and don't follow the rules. Don't follow the rules all the time, which make them hard. So, bugs in general, fun, but tricky. There's very few people I know that, like, specialize in bugs. But I appreciate when I can find somebody who does. Like, I remember a while back finding this one guy who was really pretty good at anthro bugs. Good at blending the forms in a way that was, you know, still definitely bug, but red is very pleasing. Pleasing to the eye. Okay. I think I'm not gonna have his leg. I think I'm gonna have his other human leg also be down rather than halfway up. Yeah, it is hard because bugs are pretty far from mammals. Okay. I'm pretty happy where this is at the moment. What do you think? What do you think, Avery? Good enough for the moment, and then I can update it with some of the inking. Awesome. Glad you're happy with it. That's the main important bit. That you're happy with it. Okay. Ah, interesting challenge. Maybe in the future. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, usual antler volumes and all that. Okay. Let's just double check, see how many requests we have. 21. Awesome, awesome. Input that. And spin to see who gets the next one. Okay, number 12. Let's see who we got. Frost. I'd really like to see the aftermath of a couple guys who were quarreling and ended up stumbling into some magic flowers that turned them into dragon tars with spaded tail tips. This means their new dragon types are female and will be turning completely into girls soon. Okay, okay. Taking a look at everything. If you're okay with it, Frost, I think I'm gonna go ahead and roll again, just because I want to make sure we have some good diversity in the stream, like, so that we have what's the word? Category, I'm unsure if I should try and roll. Okay, cool. Sorry, awkward question. I was just trying to make sure that, you know, because we did already do one of yours this stream, and I want to make sure we get some chances for other folks. Oh, whoops! Didn't mean to remove that. There was someone who got delayed, yeah. Rio, it was. If Rio's still here? Yeah, you can submit multiple. Number 2 is selected. But Rio was selected, but they weren't here. I suppose we can go back to them. Let's go back to them for a little bit and get theirs done. They wanted their ref turned into a Zorua. Don't know if that's Hisuian or Unnovan, but considering they didn't say Hisuian, let's just go with Unnovan. Yeah, maybe in the future we can limit it to 1 per person, just because it is getting a bit overwhelming, just a little bit. We want to make sure that everyone has a good chance rather than like all chunked together. Oh, oops, that's not the right pen. But yeah, let's work on Rio's. I think the tricky one with this is we're going from fox to fox. Oh yeah, Scorpion's good for the Nat 20 one. You can be much more complicated in the Nat 20 in the natural 20 commissions. It's mostly just we want it to not be super complex for stream, just because it's, you know, otherwise it's very, very tricky to do in a short amount of time. In general, I'm hitting about 30 minutes per drawing. And so we want to be able to keep the pace going. Okay. Fox to fox is the theme here, but fox to feral fox. Should probably have them halfway crouching, like Got one leg that's still mostly human. That's still mostly like able to stand up. And then one that's not quite able to do so, like, you know, so something sort of hunched over. This is maybe a bit out of proportion, so let's zoom back in here. Yeah, you can resubmit your Nat 20com until the 20th. Just make sure, you know, you notify me in the thing that says, okay, this is a resubmit. Please disregard the other one. So, in this case, we're going to have one more humanoid leg in the crouch. And one less humanoid leg over here. Like halfway between, so halfway between feral and not feral. And then one long arm with a more human hand. Let's unspaghettify over here. Unspaghettify. And one smaller, more doggy arm, more foxy. All has to do with how it connects to the body. And then Zorwas have massive heads. Like, legitimately, just massive. They also sort of fall into the anime girl cat face thing that we were talking about earlier, except it's a little bit different. You gotta make like a big old circle, and then it's a little bit less anime face, more Pac-Man, honestly, in a weird way. Because like this is where the snoot ends. Then get some more reference material here. Whop. Yeah, you see, very round heads. fearsomest face. Only the fearsomest. And let's get some big old ears in. They got some big old ears. Now let's check the head fur over here. See what sort of... Okay, they don't have any dew going on. But Zorwas definitely have a dew. They've got a cute little tuft. We're gonna fluff up the collar area a bit. And definitely get a nice big tail going. Yeah, if there was 40% head. Indeed. Indeedy. Should we have their tails sort of halfway between Foxy and Zora-y? Because Zoras have like a kind of almost like a weird fan shape. Yeah, let's get it halfway in between so we can tell that it's still sort of their character. Let's put some clothes on this beast. Or some clothes remains, because I have a feeling that they'd be shrinking out of these things if they're becoming a tiny little Zorua. Just a small bean. Yeah, they got a t-shirt on under that. And then have this sort of like draping over and their tail popping out. Probably bring it onto a whole nother layer because I Control X, Control V. Yeah, there we go. Okay, just double checking in on time. Looks like we've got about 20 minutes before the end of stream. Oh, yeah. Shut up. Well, you actually got picked first, not first, but second to Rio, and then I was just like, well, I know they said they were coming later, so I'll hold off on it. And eventually we were like, okay. We'll get it done, you know, whether or not they show up. And then, huzzah, you arrive. So, in a way, yes, perfect timing. We were just talking about it being a touch complicated to figure out how to show the the fox to fox pipeline you got going on here. But I think I'm managing. Like, got a nice little setup where it's halfway between well, not humanoid, but like halfway between quadruped and biped. Got one human leg, one human paw. Or more humanoid, anyway. Let's get that colored in so that I know that's part of the sleeve. I figured we'd have you drowned in your t-shirt. Because you're getting nice and small. Small bean. Though that tail is not being appropriately. It's not how that shirt would lay. Okay. So if this goes over here, it would loop down like that. And then this okay. And this tail should be poking out from under here so that it doesn't look weird. And so we can ignore that we're messing up royally messing up the floofage there. So, yay! Thank you, tails, for hiding things occasionally. Oof, sorry to hear that your Wi-Fi's having a rough time. Okay. Pretty happy with where this is at the moment. What do you think, Rio? Looks like a good midpoint for you becoming a Zorua. Awesome. Let's put Rio down here. And then you have 17 minutes left. Let's see if we can slide in one more. The wheel did pick number 2. So let's take a look and see who number 2 is. Before we decided to jump first. Okay. Looks like it is and the Kitsune from Monsters of the Forest mid-TF into or out of being a fox. Foxes seem to be a theme also here. Foxes and goo. That's the that sounds pretty bad out of context, but that seems to be a recurring theme here in the chat tonight. Goo and foxes. So, I know you sent me your references earlier, so let me just pop over back to my Discord tab, take a look. Because I think you sent them to me a little while ago. Oh, and you're sending me new stuff. Thank you for linking. Okay. Got a cool Shrine Maiden fox lady. So into or out of being a fox? Let's go ahead and let's go with out of being a fox. Like she's starting her day. Okay, there we go. That's the layer I want. Get some good fox references. And I kind of want to do her definitely a touch more fox-like, but on her way to becoming human-shaped. With a couple of tails. Honestly, I kind of want to do a weird little thing of her doing like a little stretch as she is humanizing, like just a crunch. Yeah, like she's doing her morning stretches to become to become human. Kind of silly, but also kind of cute, I think. Let's shrink it down just a touch so I can... Whoops. Then I think, yeah, this is going to be the last one I'm doing for the night. Sometimes I go overboard, but like... and go a little bit longer. I'll finish this one off, but I don't think I'm going to do an extra hour, you know. Just a little... Had kind of a long day, you know. So, let's end off with some good, cute fox times. I'm gonna give her like an open yawny mouth. Sleep well. So we definitely want to go fox, but we also don't want to go too literal fox, because she's also, also kind of a spirit, I'm assuming. Night, Andrew. Let's give her, because you guys haven't seen the picture, but let's pull a picture over. She's a very elegant looking lady. So let's make sure we can portray that elegantness while also portraying the foxness. Let's give her little hints of her human hair, I think. Well, once I figure out how to effectively do her eyes. That is. Do a cute little sort of blippy tongue. Some little sharp fangs. I'm not super happy with that. Let's go ahead and try something else. Control Z. Let's see. True. Oh yeah, eyebrows helped a lot. I also want some we want to also get the sort of elegant eye shape design that she's got. Very very that's not what I want. Very smooth. And cute little let's make sure, let's get the body going. Now we also want to thread that needle of a little bit human, but not there yet, not fully. That was not the eraser. We kind of want to go like almost, I'd say almost Disney cartoon fox. I think. In that this is a, these aren't boobs, these are floof. Yeah. Not boobs, just floof. Type of deal. Now to figure out how to get her paws over her head in a way that looks realistic as well. More animalistic leg shape. Some cute pobs. There we go. Slim that area down just a bit. Foxes have let's make this, let's make sure we got a nice belly patch of white fur. And then get some big stretch in, you know? Get some good big stretch. Some not quite hand paws, but close-ish. How many toes do foxes have? I think they actually have 5. People draw them with like 3 toes enough that it gets stuck in the public consciousness. Like, there we go. Not quite hands, not quite paws. Right in the middle. Perfect. No notes. And then another over here of not quite paws, not quite hands. Glad your thing is looking good. And how many tails does this girl have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All okay, 8 tails. We're gonna get very floofy back here real fast. Floofy and messy. Put some delineation in there. That'll get further delineated out once, once I ink. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shoving a 6th one in there. Then 7, and let's take a look from on this side. And then, yeah, a little hint of an 8th over here. Make it look sort of like a big old bouquet. Alrighty. Okay, I'm sort of tempted to give her a little bits of human-y hair, but I'm not sure if that would ruin it or not. Let's give it a shot. Like, see if we can get those Hime bangs in there. Okay, yeah, I kind of like it. Kind of cute. Kind of cute. Kind of cute. Okay, everyone, thoughts? Thoughts on hair? Ooh, over the shoulders? Yeah, I like that. Got some of it falling over the shoulders. And some of it falling straight back. Maybe kind of covering the messy join right here between some of the tails. Okay. I think she looks nice. I'm pretty happy with that. Call that a good halfway point. Halfway point for her. No, she's not quite a fox, not quite a human. Awesome. More little indicators for color. Well, not color, but like, you know, where the white tip would be. Alrighty. I'm pretty happy with that. And surprisingly, not too far over the end of our time. I am so glad to be able to hang out with you guys each month and do this. I was curious if you guys might enjoy some other streams during the month. Just wanted to put it out there to sort of gauge interests. I wouldn't be working on requests, probably just me working on either my personal projects and or other what's it called? And or other artwork, or like I might be working on my comic, which I have sorely neglected to continue working on. So maybe having a stream to focus in on it would help get stuff done more. But yeah. What's all y'all's thoughts on that? Just some low-key art streams for I haven't planned out anything beyond that, but maybe for February. Huh, like seeing my art tips, so you'd be down? That's nice. I'm glad you enjoy my I'm glad you enjoy my tips of my semi-okay art tips. Could be fun. Awesome. Glad you think so. Yeah, it'd be neat to just have some time to hang out with folks. It is also good advertising for the Patreon. True. So, I'm definitely considering it, and I'll let you guys know I'll let you guys know if I end up doing it. It'd probably also be sort of middle of the week type streams, just because as much as I'd love to stream on the weekend when more people are around, I'm at work on the weekends. On weekends, my days get very, very rough and tiring because I spend all night at work. I wake up around 3 in the afternoon, and then I gotta get all my house stuff done in like 2 hours before it gets dark. You know, after it gets dark, the brain does not like it when it gets dark, and I end up either asleep again or just unable and unmotivated to do stuff. gotta have that vitamin D. So yeah, I will go ahead and contemplate a little further on that, but it seems that everybody's sort of in agreement that would be cool. And I'll figure out a schedule that'll work. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I'm gonna go and get some rest. I'll hopefully be back shortly with this art and get it all inked and stuff. And hope you guys have a good night. Bye, y'all.